You're listening to WordPress for Nonprofits, the podcast that helps you make your website meet your mission. We talk about telling better stories, giving a better experience for those you serve, and having a better website using the power of WordPress. Now here's your host, me, Andy Stitz. Hi there. I'm very excited to bring you my featured guest today, Matt Cromwell. Matt, how are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks so much for asking. So let's get started by you telling us who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Great. Yeah, my name is Matt Cromwell. I'm head of support at WordPress. We built the Give donation plugin, and we serve nonprofits and small businesses with our premium plugins.
All right. Sounds good. So why would you recommend that a nonprofit organization use WordPress over any other tool to build their website?
Yeah, WordPress, we obviously prefer WordPress. We love it. And the biggest reasons I think nonprofits specifically should be using WordPress is it's a great way to own your own data, actually, rather than sharing it with a third-party platform. There are plenty of services out there that will let you spin up a site, but with donations and nonprofits specifically, you're collecting information from your donors. And if you're using a third-party platform, then you're basically sharing your donors' sensitive information with them. And they might have a terms of service or terms of use that is maybe not exactly what you would like to subscribe to. Or that your donors might not feel totally comfortable with. But with WordPress, it's all on your server. You own it. You can control it. You have infinite flexibility as long as you have the resources and the skills to make it happen, compared to other platforms that will have a lot more limitations. So between owning your own data and having the flexibility that you need, I think WordPress is a slam dunk for nonprofits.
Excellent. I think it's a really good point about owning your own data and what your donors and volunteers and other people that you have their information, what they might be comfortable with. So that's a really, really good point and a really good advantage of using WordPress. So I would love to hear more about the Give plugin and what it can do for nonprofits.
Yeah. That's the big impetus for why we built it, basically, is there are a lot of systems out there that will allow you to integrate a donation platform into your existing website in one way or another. And these are also all third-party systems. Of course, when you're collecting, for example, credit card information, you're going to necessarily have to use a payment gateway unless you want to become your own PCI-compliant processor, which is extremely expensive and complicated. So you're going to use a credit card payment gateway, and but when you use another service, these other donation services, they become basically an additional layer of data sharing that you end up having to use just in order to use their service. So we built Give in order to give you an open source option for owning your own donor data on your WordPress website. That doesn't rely on a third-party system whatsoever, except for, of course, your payment gateway. And that's a big reason why we built it. Also, in general, in the WordPress space, there's a lot of great and robust e-commerce solutions out there that do e-commerce really, really well, like WooCommerce and Easy Digital Downloads. But neither of them are ideal for the donor experience that people want, basically being able to do the whole checkout directly on one page, and not having it be called a product or have a cart or checkout or all those things. So that's between wanting to give nonprofits the ability to own their own data in WordPress and having a system that's targeted towards donors and not towards products. That's the big reason why we built Give. And we're doing really well. We're over a year into our launch, and we already have 10,000 active installs on the WordPress directory, and 105 5-star reviews already, and it's going really well. We're growing quickly.
All right, sounds good. Congratulations on the 10,000 plus installs. That's really awesome. Now, you directed me to a page on the Give website, givewp.com/give-stories. And there are a lot of really good stories that I looked at on there. Would you be able to tell us one of an organization or an individual or otherwise of how they used Give to raise money?
Yeah, one story that I really like because I happen to know him personally is from Jesse Peterson. They are a great family. This is just a family, a private group, private family, not an organization or anything. And they had a lot of experience with with fostering children, and they were fostering a newborn boy, and ended up finding out that basically their natural-born parents that they were fostering for were suddenly and kind of irreversibly unable to be the parents of this boy. And so this boy that they were fostering suddenly needed to be adopted, and immediately, or else he would just end up going into the system. But those circumstances also don't lend itself to state funding for the adoption. So suddenly, within the course of 7 days, this family had to be able to put down $10,000 of legal fees just in order to be able to adopt this boy who needed to be adopted immediately. And so they actually looked around at some third-party systems and were going to do a third-party donation thing. But Jesse was also really familiar with WordPress and decided instead to set it up with a Genesis theme and with Give. And they were able to raise more than that amount within 5 days, which was excellent. And it's a great story. If you go to that URL, givewp.com/give-stories, you'll find one there called Give Stories Adopt Parker. And you can read about it on that page as well as on their own URL called surpriseadoption.com.
Wow, that's a really great story. I actually I don't know Jesse personally, but I do know of him as a fellow developer in the Genesis community. So I'm glad that he got to use Give. And it's interesting that it's not just nonprofit organizations that can use Give. Anybody can use Give as far as fundraising. So I'm wondering. For individuals who want to use Give, our audience is nonprofits, but let's say they also do fundraising for a specific cause or to help out a person in their spare time. Is there any distinct advantage to using Give on a WordPress site as opposed to GoFundMe or another crowdfunding platform?
Yeah, the biggest advantage really for using Give as a personal funding solution is, again, just providing those donors with the privacy that everything is shared only with the user. And the additional benefit is, like, for example, if you go to surpriseadoption.com, you'll see this website that they put together for this purpose. It's just extremely customized to their exact needs. So he got to write some blog articles about the story. He gave updates. And the story is ongoing. They actually have had to have a couple additional court dates and have had to raise additional funds as well. And so instead of just having the kind of like cookie cutter experience that some of these other platforms offer, you can customize the story however you like, and you have infinite flexibility in terms of being able to present your story in lots of different ways. Because at the end of the day, the plugin itself, a donation form, its real job is to get out of the way as much as possible. If you're going to be raising funds, people are going to fund you based on your story, on the way that you tell your story. And WordPress is just really, really good at allowing you to tell your story and present it in a way that makes sense to people. And once they read your story and they get drawn into it and want to donate, then hopefully they land on that page and their decision to donate is really, really slick and simple and easy with Give. That's the whole idea. And being able to provide that customized, unique experience in WordPress, I think, is something that gives it a big advantage over other kind of cookie cutter solutions.
Excellent, excellent. And that's really good advice that people are going to fund you based on your story. And so therefore it's the donations form job to get out of the way so that you can tell your story. I worked in the nonprofit sector for over a decade, and it's absolutely true that people will fund you based on your story. So I'm curious, what other systems does Give integrate with?
Yeah. So we have a lot of different premium gateways that we integrate with because we don't want folks to be limited by the gateway that they use. We focus primarily on the most popular ones like PayPal, Authorize.net, Stripe, and WePay and Braintree. There's a couple others as well. Those are all just for the payment gateways. And then, yes, we also integrate with popular email marketing programs like MailChimp and Constant Contact as well. And we do have right now our kind of like catch-all solution if you want to integrate with lots of different things. We do have a Zapier add-on, which allows you to send your Give data to any of the services that Zapier supports, which Zapier right now supports over 500 different integrations. So like even if you are a larger organization that uses Salesforce for your donor management, you can integrate Give through Zapier directly to Salesforce. Or you can send Give data through Zapier to a Google spreadsheet if you're a really simple, low budget nonprofit that just wants to gather that information somewhere outside of your WordPress website. Integrating with Google spreadsheets is really easy.
All right, sounds good. So are there any other plugins that you would recommend that would benefit nonprofits for their WordPress websites?
Well, it depends. It depends on a lot of different things, exactly what they're trying to accomplish on their website. I mean, when it comes to just building out a site in general, of course, there's security to take in mind. I really recommend iTheme Security for a security plugin. And since you are telling the story, you want your story to be found easily. So I always recommend the Yoast SEO plugin. These are kind of the standard ones. These are always just things that you have to have basically on every website. But specifically for nonprofits, like I really focus a lot on the content, on how you're driving content. So being able to share that content really easily is important. And honestly, I really like just the simple share buttons that Jetpack offers. I think Jetpack is a good solution for a lot of things, including it has image CDN called Photon. There's lots of ways that nonprofits can use Jetpack that are beneficial. But beyond that, if they're looking for a really good page builder to customize their site really well, I really like Beaver Builder. So I mean, it's kind of, I have a long laundry list of plugins that I could recommend, just depending on the need exactly. But those are some of the majors.
Gotcha. Sounds good. I know that you're primarily a plugin guy, but are there any specific themes that you would recommend for nonprofits?
Yeah, actually, we've been building some really strong relationships with lots of different theme developers, actually. One that I'm continually impressed with is basically any theme from a company called Organic Themes. They do a really good job, and they have one theme that's targeted directly at nonprofits that's just called simply Nonprofit. It's their nonprofit theme. And they have actually a native, what I would call a native Give styles integrated into it, so that when you install Give with that theme, the form is going to look just like the rest of the whole website does. And I think that always makes a really good, nice difference when the user actually sees it look really well integrated on their site. So we actually, on our website, we have a section called Demos, and you can actually see a list of themes that we highlight that have different Give integrations on them, including the one from Organic Themes called Nonprofit. So.
All right, sounds good. So we are just about at the end of the interview, but before we go, can you let us know how we can get in touch with you, where we can find you on the internet, and any parting piece of guidance or advice for how nonprofits can use WordPress to make their websites even better?
Sure. Yeah. You could find me on Twitter at Learn with Matt C. And on Facebook, my handle is just Mathetos, Mathetos. And of course, anywhere wherever you find Give and WordImpress, givewp.com and wordimpress.com. We're always very accessible in all of those places. And I also blog a lot about WordPress in general on my personal site, mattcromwell.com. And parting words in general with nonprofits, I would just say spend as much time on your website as you possibly can. Your website is one of your most important assets to the success of your fundraising, and don't let it be just a back burner item. It's one of the most important things that you can do. Invest time, invest money, invest resources. You should be working on it weekly, if not daily, to make it better and better. Iterate, continue building it, make it better all the time.
Excellent advice. Matt, thank you so much for appearing on the show today, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, Andy. Thanks so much.
Thanks. And that about does it for this episode of WordPress for Nonprofits. For a complete list of resources and an outline of the main ideas that we discussed on today's show, go to wpfornonprofits.org/Matt Cromwell. That's wpfornonprofits.org/Matt Cromwell. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time.